Welcome to the Wrap-Up, a VR live stream focused on keeping you up to date with the adoption of universal profiles and growth of the new creative economy. Join us as we uncover the fusion of technology, artistry, and innovation that's redefining how we create, share, and experience in this digital age. It's time to wrap it up. Welcome back to the Wrap-Up, everyone. Today's Friday, February 9th, year's 2024. Before we dive into today's topics, take a moment to click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Helps a ton and ensures you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Alt, how you doing today?
Doing all right, hanging in there. Hope everyone's Friday's going good. GM fam.
Yeah, we're GMing. We're definitely GMing today. Lots of good mornings going on. All right, so yeah, I guess before we get into the main section of the show here, Alt, I got to fix this situation I got going on. There we go. Much more comfortable.
Good.
All right. You have anything you want to say before we roll on?
No, let's get into it.
All right. Okay. So before we get to our top stories, let's hear from our friends and sponsors over at LEEQUID. LEEQUID, a liquid staking solution tailored for the LUKSO blockchain, enables low-friction staking of LYX tokens redeemable for SLYX tokens on a one-to-one basis. Its custom liquidity pool allows for quick staking changes, avoiding traditional network delays. Supported by LUKSO advisors and launched post-consensus audit in October of 23, LEEQUID ensures a secure and user-friendly staking experience. Be sure to follow LEEQUID on Twitter for opportunities to earn passive rewards while participating in the overall security of the LUKSO network. Okay, top stories this week. We've got Eth Denver coming up, and we've got a couple speaker announcements. First announcement, we've got Findura himself, Fabian Vogelsteller, will be speaking at Eth Denver. Always bullish. Eth Denver is a pretty large conference, Alts.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's always a lot going on. I was there last year. It's quite a vibe. They had where were they at? I don't remember what section they had. They were in the private section upstairs, so it wasn't nearly as chaotic. It was nice to be able to hang out with some team members and chat. And Fabian did a wonderful presentation then as well. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be pretty sweet for those who get to make it out.
Yeah, Eth Denver, again, very large and reputable event in the Ethereum ecosystem. Lots of developers and ecosystem participants. When I say participants, that could be anyone from your just average blockchain aficionado to, your most high-powered builder in the space, right? If you want to call Vitalik that. So, there's a wide range of people there giving lots of talks. It's nice to see Fabian is going to be there introducing the new creative economy to a whole new set of ears. If we're looking for marketing to the devs, then this is the spot to do it. And not only is Fabian talking there, Alts, but we also have the master chef himself, Jean Cavaliera, who is a wizard. Call him the Wiz here. Fabian's a wizard, but John is a wizard in his own right, working with Solidity, and John will be giving a talk as well at Eth Denver. Alts, they just released John's talk from meetup number 2 today, by they, meaning LUKSO, where Jean talks about LSP recipes. Do you remember that talk? What'd you think of that thing?
Oh yeah, no, I loved it. It was such a great way to explain some potential use cases
and a liquid
kind of the core building blocks of LSPs in a very unique and digestible, metaphorical way, which I really, really enjoy. It's a great way to, explain to other people that don't quite get the tech. A lot of us are trying to reimagine ways to explain this stuff. So it's always super helpful. So yeah, we appreciate that, Chef.
The chef. Yeah, we had a nice talk about Gordon Ramsay in the co-work. And, because I'm a big fan of Chef Gordon Ramsay. I do appreciate Hell's Kitchen. I like to put it on in the background when I'm cooking so I can feel like Chef Gordon Ramsay's yelling at me.
Hey, if you ever need to just video chat with me and I'll just yell at you while you cook, I got your back.
Let him cook. And also in the background, no. Anyway, so it was really great. That is a kind of cool video. Check it out on the LUKSO YouTube. It is the presentation from Jean at meetup number 2 in Istanbul. John goes through a number of kind of boilerplate use cases for some of these LSPs. They're very, very simple examples, but powerful in and of themselves. John is definitely a good person to give that presentation. I hope that he gives something like that to the ETH Denver community because I think it'll open a lot of developer eyes.
Yes, for sure. Yes. You know what else might open up some developer eyes? We got registration beginning for build-a-thon, below, and then you can dive in. Starts bounties on the February 23rd, looks like. But yeah, the build-a-thon is
I,
upon us. That's pretty sweet. Glad to
I
see they're
s-
doing one.
I see what you did there, Alts. I see what you did there. That was a great transition. That was perfect. Oh yeah, $50,000, 50,000 K. That's dollars USD that is being offered in the prize pool here at the Build-a-thon in ETH Denver. Slightly different. The previous build-ups or the Hack Your Profiles hackathon that was done over an extended period of time, and it was a remote hackathon. This one here appears to be targeting the developers who are specifically at ETH Denver to hack, part of that ETH Global thing. So I think that this is actually really slick. Where better to market to developers than to go right to the place where developers are hacking and
Right.
expose them to the new standards, right? Give them some new toys to play with, see what comes out of it.
Yeah, well, that's what we like to see. And it's like I was there last year and I saw the activity with some of the hackathons going on, and just see rooms full of devs just going hard at it 24/7. Absolutely love the energy. So it's going to be hopefully yield some really interesting stuff.
Yeah. I just read your note. That almost was throwing me off. That one's cracking me up. All right. Yeah, there's hopefully, I mean, there's always interesting stuff that comes out of hackathons. What's interesting here is, um, you know, what LUKSO is hoping to do here is present a whole new range of tools, right? A whole new range. If we're going to think of them as crayons, new crayons in the box, right? If you want to take the chefing uh, analogy forward, like
Yeah.
John's a master chef, then new spices, new ingredients, right? And I don't know about you, but I get excited when I've got new colors or new spices to sprinkle.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just dash in a little LSP spice on top of the recipes.
Yeah, a little LSP spice. That's like an allspice. Put on anything. It's good. So what are we introducing those developers to out in Denver? Well, identity, really, because identity is essential to property rights. This is my tweet. I'll quote it. Because it determines the legal ownership and ensures the rights of use, exclusion, and transfer are attributed to the correct individual or entity. And universal profiles are the fundamental building block of LUKSO's ecosystem. This was actually a quote tweet I threw over Chris Bernitsky's tweet that blockchains equal the internet's native property rights system. Well, property rights is definitely connected to identity. And we've said this a long time. LUKSO is about reputation. It's about identity. It's about sometimes the white beard is going to lose his friggin' mind. And, that's how it's going to go. I'm a passionate person. I wear my arm on my sleeve, but that is my reputation. I do not hide from it.
You
Right.
just say you wear your arm on your sleeve?
Yeah. Heart
I
on
love
my
that.
sleeve. Yeah, you got it.
But no, I totally agree with this sentiment. As much stuff that we do on the internet and have done on the internet and how much of our lives is there, right? Blockchain technology and cryptocurrency in general was such a saving grace to be able to like, oh wow, we can actually store and maintain value on the internet. Could never do that before, right? It was only like this phantom numbers game, but now actual real value can exist there. And then we're starting to see it with activity and other things. But like the main thing that all of this stuff will eventually be tied to is identity, right? And we need that identity to be self-sovereign and decentralized. So yeah, being able to do that through Luxo is about the only thing possible at this stage. It has to be done from the core level, fully decentralized, and there's nobody else that's even offering that opportunity. So yeah, I can't wait to see how that evolves. Moving forward.
Yeah. The it's important we're highlighting identity here because if we're presenting these LSPs really to a suite of new developers, then as you walk into that suite filled with people and you say, "Hey, play with my tools." One thing you want them to understand right away is that at the base level of the ecosystem is this identity standard, right? Which is that
Right.
ERC 725, which again, let's push that forward. Let's call it LSP 0 for what it is. It is the fundament of the ecosystem, and that is going to it also underpins the universal profiles, which is kind of the social graph that Lux has created that's going to stitch us all together, right? All of our accounts should really be user profile universal profiles. So if we're going to present this to the developers at Denver, that universal profiles or that identity is a fundament of our ecosystem. Well, here's universal profiles, and then here's how we're going to use it. Now, there's a lot for developers to learn. So it's really great that we've got our Chad developers out in Denver so they can act like resources to probably help out the hackers in the room, because there's a lot you can do with universal profiles alts. One of the things you can do with universal profiles, I knew nothing about until I sat and learned from Callum again at meetup number 2 in Istanbul, where Callum gave a keynote and he talked about the use case where he was using universal profiles as really back-end tooling while explaining the LUKSO migration bridge. Really, it was a custom version of a universal profile using LSP6, the key manager, to securely bridge your LUKS-E to the LUKS token on the LUKSO mainnet. I had no idea when Callum explained this to me in that video. Well, explained it to me like I was the only person in the room. Explain this to us. I was like, oh, like that is huge because there's so much potential to do things with this universal profile that the average person doesn't even understand. Like the average person is thinking, oh, this is just my blockchain account. Great. I can sign transactions with it. Answer, sure, you can do that, but you can also do, and then I'm going to leave a big long blank space, and that's for the hackers to figure out, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the beautiful parts about this is when you understand the difference and what sets LUKSO apart. Yeah, universal profile is great, but that's one example kind of what we've seen so far is just one example of what we can do with this technology. It's more about the core building blocks that are malleable that you can. It's like setting up the stage for a sustainable ecosystem to just build and grow without seeing all these giant roadblocks that we're seeing. Like for Ethereum, for instance, right? It's like you just keep running into these issue after issue after issue, and it just kind of pile up. And they're like, well, let's just make more ERCs and we'll just keep rolling it in. And it just kind of becomes messy, right? But like with these core LSP building blocks, it's like universal profiles will be able to do so much. And it's like we don't quite know exactly what that ecosystem is going to look like, but that's what makes it really exciting.
Yeah, there's so much potential for innovation here. It's exciting. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I've been here for a long time. It's why I continue to come back to the well every day. I am slightly pissed at the moment. I mean, I'll get right into that right now. I'm slightly pissed because there's a whole army of anonymous accounts that just want to take shots at legitimate projects. I mean, you can say whatever you want, be a keyboard warrior, pound on the keyboard all you want. If you want to know why Ethalorian, or if you look on Twitter right now, Elmo gives 0 Fs, why I get bent out of shape about it, it's because you're not the man in the arena. Where it's like literally you're sitting in the stands and you're heckling someone who's really trying hard to make a difference or provide an opportunity for you, the person who's in the stands. And it feels really shitty to read the constant critiques that are put out either towards the team or towards real builders in the space, and they're completely friggin' unwarranted. I mean, like that is the thing that's actually started to like grind my gears. Now, if you haven't noticed, because if you tune into this, Ethalorian is a really passionate person. I'm kind of off the rails sometimes, and I require 8 arms to drag me back in. But this one here, I'm really bothered by it all. So I don't appreciate the shot taking from the outside because it's just it's unproductive. It doesn't get us anywhere. Like, do you feel good about putting someone else down? That's just bullshit, and I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, and it's not native to Web3 only, right? This exists. This is just human nature. Like whenever you if you're not able to do it yourself, you want to go out and trash the people that are able to do it, right? Or you want to complain because things aren't going great in your life and you want others to feel shitty too. Like that's pretty much the ethos behind it, and you kind of understand that. You kind of learn to just ignore it. But it is kind of annoying because we are in such a tiny ecosystem still to this day, right? We're still very, very, very small because we are going the organic approach. So it's like, as things eventually open up and our community does grow, those people will just get washed away, right? Because instead of, 1 in 1,000 voices, there'll be 1 in 1,000,000 and nobody will even notice them, right? But it's also, so we're just in these initial stages. Those people, get more airtime than they possibly deserve. I subscribe to the good old block button where needed. It's a great feature.
Yeah, see, I don't block. You block, I don't block. I actually force myself to read this stuff, and I read it every day. Like, I'm not afraid of criticism, and, like, you don't have to like the wrap up. You don't have to like me, you don't have to like alts, you don't have to like anyone. I don't really care. Unfortunately, I'm also a human. I'm a human that I've said passionate twice, I'll say it a third time. I'm a very, very passionate person. I speak my passion, and I hope that you see very transparently, like, I care about what I care about, and I protect the things that I care about, and I'm not afraid to go out on a limb to say what I feel. And right now, I feel that there's like this bullshit proxy war going on right now where people are taking burner accounts and just, I don't know, posting shit that's completely, I don't know, it costs them nothing, right? But it's not adding anything. And today's the day I just put my foot down and I'm going to say something about it and then I'll move on. And like me or not, that's just how it's going to go. So I'm going to say that else.
No, I appreciate it, and that's one of the things we love about you, Eth. And and we are still in these initial stages of reputation, right? And identity on chain. So we're working towards that. But the way we act and interact and engage, those things will have way more consequences as we move forward, and both on the positive and on the negative side, right? So it's just an easy barometer now because it's just only Twitter and people can just be as big a douche as they want, right? And then there's really no repercussions, right? So, but like, yeah, that's going to change eventually. Will be really, really nice. But the people that are here and that have been here, they can see clearly who's actually cares and who doesn't.
Yeah. And I, I appreciate that also. That's great. I wanted to add one thought to the end of it. And it's when price action sucks, it really drags the worst of the worst to the surface, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
And we're in this really kind of shitty moment for price action, and it is definitely. I mean, I'd be lying if it doesn't affect someone's psyche, and it's not the money. Like, that's what I'd say for me. Yes, these are financial. There's money associated with every Lux token, but like I don't even think of it from the financial aspect. I honestly don't, and you don't have to believe me. For me, it's like I almost think of this project as like my kid, right? It's like
right.
a loved one that like I'm fiercely loyal and going to defend. And in the same way I'd defend you alts if we were on the street and someone said something that I didn't appreciate about you or said something about any one of my kids. Someone says something about Luxo or one of my friends who's building on Luxo. I almost like have this compulsion to be like, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on what you just said. Um, and like that's where it's at right now. This shitty price actions brought some trolls out, and I just for the past few weeks it's been like mounting. I feel like it's been like growing a little bit, like a spider crawling up the back of my head, sitting on my brain. Um, I just wanted, we have a platform. I wanted to make sure that I said something. I don't. We did not plan to say this at the end of this segment, but I'm saying it now. It's I want this to succeed so friggin' bad that it bothers me when people, I don't know, speak out of turn. That's all.
No, I mean, I feel that, and when it kind of goes back to where we are at in the ecosystem, right? Yes, like price action when the price is going great, everybody's usually mostly still have those detractors that will just always complain no matter what. But sentiment is definitely follows price action whenever you're this small, right? Whenever if we make it into the top 20 and we have this budding ecosystem with all the things that people want to have in their ecosystem that just we don't currently have, then the price action does it's a bit more irrelevant to most people because it won't be as volatile, won't be as illiquid and yada yada yada. But we're still at this moment where it's like we're just still on the dream stage where okay, we have a few things going, but we're still trying to envision so much more, so people are at the qualms of the market that's insanely illiquid, right? So that's definitely it'll be great whenever that changes someday. But I feel that, yeah, as well, because it just sucks that sentiment has to reflect price. Like that's just sad, but that's honestly where we're at.
Yeah, we've said before, we're not journalists. We're literally like a mirror for community sentiment. I mean, that's what we are because we're in all the channels and we're reading all the messages and we're seeing all of the back and forths. And then we come on here and we try to present the news, but with an entertaining aspect, right? Like that's what the wrap up is. I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to entertain you, but also give you a flair for what's going on in the week. And the reason we've taken some time out of the top stories, I think, or unplanned, but the reason I took some time at the end here is community sentiment is, I don't know, it's tricky at the moment. And it has a lot to do with what Alt said. When price is chopping or down and it's a small community, it's like it becomes a little bit of an echo chamber, and that can be positive or negative, right? And price
Yeah.
down, bad. Price good, man, everyone's on the ceiling. So um
Well, and it
I get
also like echoes throughout the Web3 in general. It's much more difficult to even try to onboard other people, right? Like whenever the price is just crashing, because that's their first question, what's wrong? What's going on? And it's like, well, it's just typical. I don't know, we had 12 out of 13 green weeks, right? So it's only natural that we had a pullback, but like people in the other, they don't even give you a time of day if you're crashing, right? So like that's just the way it is. So yeah, that's part of the frustrating thing, but it's like all you can really do is try to just zoom out, as it were, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's consider this conversation a prelude to our Up and to the Right segment. In Up and to the Right, we provide a weekly review of the markets from a LUKSO perspective. We present a range of prices from the lowest to the highest, and then we give you the prevailing price at the time of the broadcast and give you a summary of the market capitalization. Keep in mind that what you hear in this podcast is just our opinion and not professional financial advice. We're not experts. And if you need a specific advisor, please ask someone who's a professional in that area. Listen at your own risk and always double check before making decisions based upon what we talk about. Alt, what do you think of those numbers?
Yeah, they're numbers. They are numbers. Now, I mean, whatever. We're in the reset zone, so yeah. I mean, the saddest one is the number 223 rank, right? We definitely would prefer to be in that top 100, obviously for the price action, but just to be on people's radars because nobody pays attention to you until you get there. So yeah, I mean, because I like talking about LUKSO to new people, but we're just in that zone right now where we can't really talk to anybody. Nobody wants to listen to us. So we had to just wait and be patient as usual.
Yeah, I like talking about it too. I don't like the phone calls asking me the questions about it because I can't answer. I don't have the answer when tier one or any one of these other things. What I can say is if you look at the ongoing development in the ecosystem, more and more people are showing up, more and more universal profiles are showing up every single day. And there's every reason to be bullish on the project. Fundamentals have actually never been better.
Yeah.
And that's what tweaks me when people have anything negative to say. Oh,
Right. But I mean, like for us, I mean, I've been in this crypto space long enough. I'm just kind of immune to that side of thing. It's like you experience it so many times. You're like, whatever. Been there, done that a million times. This is pretty prototypical, But it's like, yeah, it is always kind of maddening because and that's not even just crypto. That's just like human nature in general. The fundamentals don't necessarily line up to price action. Oftentimes they can be contrary for a while, right? But that's by design, right? They want to manipulate markets just in general. The traders do, right? Because they want you feeling really crappy at the bottom because they want to get your whatever it is, whatever your asset is. Right? This is not just crypto. This is stocks and everything else. This is just a human nature. They want you to feel terrible and sell the bottom, and then they want you to feel euphoric and buy the top, right? Because that's where they make all their money is off of you trading on your emotion. So it can be very difficult to that's why I don't really trade. I just mostly spend my time doing research and then invest because trying to be less emotional than a bot. Yeah, good luck with that.
yeah, for sure. All right. Hey, let's take a peek at our chart for the week. Oh, we got a chart from the wolf himself, because we all needed to feel bullish. He says, Lux incoming, seller's pain. Because the red there really sucks, but our permabull wolf, someday these calls are going to be right. And wolf is always serving up grade A hopium, and I appreciate that about him.
Yeah, I mean, if you are a chartor, that one's a pretty classic, breakthrough major resistance and then test it as support. Same
Mhm.
old playbook as always, right?
Same old playbook. And we have some good news. I mean, we don't want to be Debbie Downers. We're just, like I said, we're mirrors for the ecosystem. So you get good news on the liquidity front because you get another exchange. MEXC actually open trading. We've got another trading pair, Lux versus USDT Tether, on the MEXC exchange. So users of the MEXC exchange, you have now the ability to trade Lux on that exchange. I mean, that's pretty good news, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, anything we can get is great. It just all adds to the overall, liquidity and for people to be able to onboard their friends or family, right? Obviously, yeah, tier ones will be great someday when that happens, but in the meantime, every little bit helps.
Yeah. I saw this incredible tweet from Santiago Santos. Um, and I like Santiago. He's a really smart guy.
Yeah.
And he said, bears sound smart, but smart doesn't necessarily make money. Doesn't take much intelligence to develop a long term view, but it takes a lot of patience and discipline to just sit and spot and avoid blowing up. What what does blowing up look like? Blowing up looks like just getting emotional and yeeting out of your stack you've been holding on to for a long time because you don't like the price action. Because for whatever reason, it got on top of you for one day. Now, just less than an hour ago, I changed my Twitter name and blanked out my banner, but we'll get more to that at the end of the show. For now, realize I'm not selling any tokens. I'm not going anywhere, right? Like I'm not going to blow up my position in spot because again, bears sound smart when price action's going against you. It'll never get there. It's much, much harder to be patient and disciplined and rely on the research that you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, imagine spending months digging in and doing research, and then you just get off your position because someone triggered you emotionally. That's just crazy, but it does happen. But
Yeah,
that's
it
why
happens.
that's why research is important. That's why DYOR, never financial advice. It's more like a way to point you in the direction of a place to research, because then when you truly understand the fundamentals, then it seems very obvious where the price will eventually get to, right? Top 10, top 20, whatever your goal is, that seems pretty inevitable. It's just a matter of like, who knows how many twists and turns it's going to make on the way. Good luck trading that, right? You're just never going to out trade a gem long term. So, but that's the thing. You have to do a lot of research to understand what you're even holding.
Yeah, we had a Telegram group for it was called the LUKSO family Telegram group that blew up this week because the person who started the group just keeps jumping in and out of his Lux position and every time getting completely wrecked. And this is
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Like there are other shiny toys out there, but if you're here, understand that this is a longer term investment. And I say investment because you are going to have to not only invest your money if you want the token, but you need to invest your time to understand what's going on, your time to use the stuff that's being built, right? Time to build the relationships because this is a social blockchain, right?
But
Like,
one, oh, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I was
No,
just
no,
saying, but one
please.
thing you need to truly understand, I think, is that your time and energy, spent on the timelines and in groups and things like that, it's not going to affect the price. Like, nothing any of us say is really going to affect the price, right? It's more about like the market's going to do what it's going to do, irrelevant of how many people are on the timeline going, yeah, I'm bullish on Luxo, like it doesn't even matter. That stuff's irrelevant. So just kind of separate those two, right? You can show up every day and talk about it because you want to build your reputation, and build out your identity, and you want to help people and onboard people and things like that. The price is going to do what it's going to do, right? It's kind of the way we just talked about, like the fundamentals and price action, rarely intersect at the same time, right?
Yeah, like be a positive community member and uplift those around you. Don't make your base action to tear down. Like it's way easier to tear something down than it is to build something up. Right? And,
Yeah.
yeah, like we alluded to, I blanked out my Twitter profile today, and it was more like, public protest just to, like, point to try to bring attention to the fact that, like, there are people out there right now that are trying to tear our community apart and our ecosystem. Why? I don't know, because there's nothing else to do. We like to poke each other in the eye. But if you show up every single day and you try your best to build a positive environment, then those actions are like I always go back to the Jake Prince, be 1% better. If you're 1% better every day, it is going to be a massive change at the end of a year, right? And he posted that tweet once. It always stuck in my head because he posted the math for it. If you as a community member show up every day and you are positive and you are interacting and you're trying to help others and you do that every day over 365 days, we've got a better community. On the
Yeah.
flip side, if you show up every day trying to tear it down, understand what the actions are doing. And that's what drives me absolutely bananas is when these people, these keyboard warriors come out and they want to take shots at real builders. Like that's 1% we're getting worse. And we can't afford that right now. We can't afford to be getting worse because people are taking shots at builders. Like that is not how this works. We have to support each other.
Yeah. I mean, well, those people will get 1% worse every day, right? And eventually just turn into a slug. But I think that's the key though, is like as long as if you do your part, right, and continue to get 1% better, that part of the community will just continue to grow. And then, because you're always going to have the negative Nancy's or whatever that are just going to try to fight whatever all the time throughout their entire life. Like that's just who they are. They'll eventually just get outnumbered so much that nobody even notices them, right? And it happens too, right? They get weeded out of the ecosystem because people just realize they're only just trying to start up some nonsense or whatever based out of their own emotions, right? So, yeah, I think it's good to it's a good way to look at it. Is just do your part to continue to get better as a person, right? And then that just naturally helps everything else.
Mm. You're such a wise man, Alts. If you're into astrology, I'm an air sign. I blow really hard and then it goes away, right?
You're an
But
air sign.
I'm an air sign. So, um, uh, you know, I guess, like we say, we're mirrors for the community. So I posted this thing that said, describe this chart, because I woke up, I saw this chart and was like, oh, again. And I said, just describe the chart. I didn't even put any other leading words into this. And we started getting responses. Mint said, this is shenanigans. It's opportunity, just another day. I love it. Mint's always another grounding influence in this community. Mint's always walks me back off the edge. Great guy.
Yeah.
SVB.LYX. This is the soon pattern. Are you triggered by that, Alts?
No, I'm immune to soon.
Oh God. And then we had Tusi, who had a great submission in the build up #2 hackathon. He literally went and built out that entire um like an MVP, like proof of concept for these NFC chips on that app. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And anyway, Tusi says, this reminds me of my net worth. Oh, wait, is that a correlation or a causal relationship? Good. That's funny. And for so many of us in Lux, isn't that the question we ask ourselves frequently?
Yes, it is.
All right. So what I wanted to highlight is we had a community member, because we've been doing this for a long time, Alts, right? There's lots
Yeah,
of people that we recognize their names, and Ows knows actually responded to that chart and was real, like gave a real take. It was a raw take. And we figure, as again, mirrors for the community, let's just put it up there and, let's show people kind of like the responses that come to myself and Alts that, it's that are out there, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love this take. Some BS trying to stay positive, but after holding since 2020, shit tires a mofo out. Yeah, we can relate to that. Still got conviction out the a-hole, but it's getting harder and harder to hold this manipulated low volume BS. Yeah, so I mean, that's what it feels like, right? Just manipulation, because it's so easy to manipulate when it's not on bigger exchanges. But I completely understand the decentralized mechanics, the whole ecosystem offhands approach, but it's obviously not working. Or am I supposed to have a 30-year time frame like Bitcoin? Like start marketing the S. Yeah, I love LUKSO fam like my own, but let's keep it real. And then I think there's one more here. Yeah, I may not be a creator. I work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, but you better believe I'm an investor. Like haven't sold since blah, 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 right? Not even any of it. And I've only got hopium. I'm not complaining. I'm really not. Otherwise, I would have dipped a long time ago. And this is the same thing we were just talking about, right? Like, yeah, I mean, we might, people might get frustrated on the timeline, but it's like, if, we're true believers, right? I've literally just bought more this week, and I will try to buy more before this dip takes off, So I think it's long-term vision with totally believers. But yes, the path that we've taken, I think will probably still be much better in the long term, right? Doing everything organic, but it just means way more pain, right? So you need to game plan for pain, right? I mean, and we've already been through so much, but I guess there's more to go.
Yeah, and I'm really positive. I mean, we have these
Yeah,
market catalysts coming up. We've got the halving event for Bitcoin. I mean, we are so early in this bull cycle. I truly believe that. You can disagree with me, but I truly believe we're very early in this bull cycle. And if you if the past is a predictor of future events, like yes, some of the larger cap tokens are running away from Lux right now, but there will be a correction that will come back. I'm not overly concerned about that. What we are doing today is taking the opportunity to highlight that there is this, the community, this is how the community feels right now. It's not that they're not loyal to the project, but the community does have this sentiment that is just riding because most of us have been here for a very long time. We're on board, but when we go through these spells where like the price action moves against us, it really tests everybody's patience. I think that's fair to say, no?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a pretty simple way to put it and super accurate.
Super accurate. All right. Well, we did have one chartor that we wanted to highlight today because we want to end on good news. Alts.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Is this Mince's friend? I don't know.
I believe it is. Yeah, Maximus.LYX. He's got a tweet here showing we're approaching the lowest RSI zone. Yeah, so where we bottomed out before at the true bottom throughout that bear cycle. Yeah, so there's the tech going up, volume going down, fear and greed going up. Patience is the key. Hard and painful periods or will make and make the win more tasty. I mean, that's where the winners are born in the bear runs, right? And the losers are probably born in the bull runs. That's just kind of the way it works. I mean, what that old saying, right? When there's blood in the streets, that's when you want to be by the blood. When everything's, and that's one thing that always makes me feel better too, is when I'm like, man, whenever I start feeling like this, the bottom must be in. you know?
Yeah, isn't that the truth? And we've been through this cycle many times now. Yeah, there's no second guessing the long-term fundamentals for this project, bullish as I've ever been. However, given that Alt and I wake up every week and we come on and we do this show, I think that people drastically underestimate the toll that it takes to just be positive and positive and
Yeah.
positive, right? We're not immune to those human emotions.
Well said.
Okie doke. All right.
Well, should we get into some of the bullish side of this coin with the network?
Yep, let's do it.
Process.
I don't know about you, but I think all those numbers look good going up.
Yeah, I mean that trend is most definitely up and to the right. We've got universal profiles created, still trending up. We dipped up a little bit on the pace. The weekly average still 4% almost. That's pretty great. Same goes for deployed contracts and the blockchain transactions. That number is still going up. I mean, that's up 16.5% on the week. That's pretty damn bullish. Look at the number of total licks burned down there, over 7K.
I love to see that number, and I can't wait to see it race higher. On the staking dashboard, we know that we're adding more and more validators. Liquid has onboarded another node operator, which is allowing them to take on more stakers. That's the best way to say it, right? More stakers.
Yeah.
So it's great to see that we are adding more and more active participants in the so I would say securing the network. I was searching for some better, more eloquent way to say it. It didn't come to the brain.
Embracing the chain.
Yes, good job embracing the chain. And if you want to embrace the chain on Ledger, Lux is Alt Anonymous has found out.
Yeah, LUKSO is now natively listed on Ledger, so that's pretty sweet. It'll show up there now. We don't have an app yet, but we're EVM, so it doesn't really matter. We don't necessarily need that. But yeah, you can now. It'll now show up. Any licks that you have stored on your Ledger will show up there. So that's great to see. Love that.
Yeah, it's definitely something that will make you feel comfortable, especially if you have Lux on a ledger, which I do. This is definitely welcome and happy to see it. The more of these kind of infrastructure integrations that we get, this is very simple, but it makes you feel more and more like people are embracing the chain.
Yeah, exactly. We do love updates. We also love updates to the universal profile. So the UP Cloud just got a little update. Now you can see the latest activity on the network and new users there on the front page. That is pretty sweet integration.
Yeah, it's an integration with the transactions.app. I believe that's a project from Hugo. Hugo had a tweet from the transactions.app there saying that the widget has been uploaded onto the page, like Alt's just said, and that more features are coming, that this is really not even version 1.0. This is we're just starting.
0.1, yeah, version 0.1. That means like we have a long way to go, but same thing with universal profiles, right? This is beta, but it's like we're still doing some really interesting shit already.
Yes, I like you sweared. Finally, we got you over the line. Okay, if you if you see, it's really hard to see in the transactions.app where the arrow is pointing, but it says that the transaction cost 0.06 lux. I think it was something to do with the burnt pics there. But I love this tweet from Everything Currency. I think we need to stop telling people gas on LUKSO is free. It's not free. Someone else is just paying for you now. Yes, that's a smart take. I like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it could even be more specific in certain cases, right? It is free for you if you're using the LUKSO relayer at this time, right? But yeah, the narrative of just free gas isn't necessarily accurate enough. But even just the ability to be able to account abstract that away and do it for someone on the back end where they don't have to even mess with it. That's the real gem there.
Yeah. Heisenberger. Yeah, but it's free for me. uh, what I do like is Mboy James from family.lux. I'm thinking of this because I've yet to claim it myself, but Jack highlighted the fact that when you claim the Genesis NFT from Family has it rigged in a way that you just click and claim, and it doesn't even. Jack was like, I didn't even have to think about my extension. And what Mboy said is the process that they built. Actually, they mint the NFT for you. They pay the gas on the back end. They do everything so you can't see it, and then they just send you the NFT. So it's very, very slick experience, more like Web 2, right? You don't
Yeah,
have to worry about opening up that browser extension.
I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, I need to claim mine as well. We have till the 20th, I saw, so we got to get on that
Yeah.
ASAP. But yeah, that's what we love to see, starting to get this, feeling and sense of kind of where the ecosystem is headed. Because yeah, I think with LUKSO and universal profiles and stuff, we're going to have the ability to literally, like, somebody could just have the appearance of being on a Web2 site, go through the process, claim a digital, maybe it's attached to their physical, whatever, and they don't even have to even know blockchain was even involved in the first place.
Isn't that the dream? That's
That
where
is
we're
the
trying to
dream.
go.
Yeah. Well, you know what else I dream up is some pink stuff. Luckily, we had some pink tweets this week.
Almost everything I have on is pink, and it's my favorite.
Let's check them out.
Oh, Jack had a nice one. Let your light radiate as you bathe in the long-term sunlight of your day. Alts, how do we find this tweet?
One way that was really super helpful is whenever people do hashtag wrap up, as you can see there in the bottom line. Yeah, it makes it super easy for us to find your pink tweets and other stuff. So yeah, please tag the wrap up on some tweets so we can see them and easily find them. And because we love adding great content to the show.
Yeah, if you're an artist and you're looking to get some exposure, right? Say you don't have a lot of engagement on your tweets, do hashtag wrap up, and we can be sure that we will feature it here on the show, and then we can also blast it out through socials.
Yes, love that, Eth. Someone else who just did that, we got one from Pink Flux. LUKSO Maxi POV sitting patiently waiting with focus. There's nothing outside. There's no touch grass, nothing worth my attention in the periphery. Up next on the wrap up, the pinkest tweet. Yeah, beautiful.
Love that. Yeah. So again, on the theme of hashtag wrap up, Jack after says that again, another one from Jack, 15 years of crypto lessons learned have all been applied to LUKSO's next generation blockchain. Lux is redefining crypto. The tokenomics and standards make this ecosystem unique. I do love the AI art. Love it. Can't get enough of this stuff.
I love it. I love the vibe of this one. You know who didn't put hashtag wrap up? This next one. Loser, man.
What a loser.
You are one pathetic loser.
But I do love this piece though. You got your little pink city there at sunset or sunrise. Which is it?
I was inspired this one after we went to Istanbul, looking out of the windows at breakfast when the sun would come up, when everyone else would be friggin' sleeping and I couldn't, and I'd go up there and eat breakfast, watch the sun come up. It was like Istanbul and it was all pink.
That was one of my favorite. I mean, I would say that I feel like the sunrise did have a bit of a pink hue to it there. But that was one of my favorite highlights every day was sitting there at sunrise and eating breakfast with ETHDenver and some of the team at LEEQUID. That was great conversations and what a wonderful way to start the day for sure.
Yeah, I like that. Say for sure again.
For sure.
For sure. I can feel the Lux ecosystem picking up steam. Many new projects building on LUKSO are popping up on my timeline. Are you pink pilled yet? Thank you. This is, I think, Sayotoshi has a, that's the message that we want to be putting out there. We don't want to be tearing people down. We want to be giving people the hopium that they need, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's literally where the whole concept of a pink pill came about, right? It's something you can easily just hand off to someone else, and they still have to take it themselves. You can't shove it down their throat, but like all you can do is just give them the pink pill and be like, look, here's the alpha. It's up to you to take it. But yeah, once you do, it's like this pink aura washes over you, kind of like in the Matrix, when he puts his hand in the mirror and it just like engulfs him, but he can see the true vision of the future for sure.
Yeah, for sure. The true vision of the future is at some point I'll, realize that I acted in a impulsive
Entertaining.
way. All right. So Sweet Feels had a great one. This is
Love this
actually from the Platties meme contest, the Platinator. Love that one.
The Platinator, the charts will be back. Yeah, I love this one too. I love the LUKSO chain. This dude means business.
Yeah, great job. Absolutely love it. I love how he got the detail of the sawed-off shotgun too.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. Well, let's get to our winners, shall we?
Sweet Feels. Yay, made it in life. I'm glad you're watching. All right. And the winner this week is
Beef.
does Beef actually win, or can we give it to Canvas Land for the pink pill?
They can split it.
if you're like my friend Alex, who listens to this show but doesn't watch it in real time, this is a picture of a Luxon demon, and he's got the headphones around his neck that say pink pill. Feeling mighty pink.
I mean, I think Beef manifested it and minted it, so we'll give it to him.
All right, Beef, you win.
Well,
I didn't strive for success. I strive to do something artistically important.
well, let's check out the fame section. All right, mainnet migration is around the corner, says Dematerialized, but it's not the only thing coming this month. Dropping soon this Valentine's Day season. We actually did get an email from DMAT today. Didn't have time to tweet that out because it happened right as we were starting the show. But for those of you who haven't checked your email yet, looks like there's going to be doing a drop on Valentine's Day. And if you have a Hex Jerzo, you are whitelisted. So really interesting to see. Curious what that's going to be. Any thoughts, Eth?
My first thought was a Broken Heart Club, like a Teflon drop, but now that the Hex Jerzo is involved, I don't know.
Yeah, I would imagine a Teflon drop in the future, you might be getting whitelisted if you had the other Teflon stuff. So yeah, this one says it was a great companion piece to the Hex Jerzo. So super curious what that could be.
Maybe a Hex hat, Hex glasses, Hex trousers. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll just wait and see.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. It's really a shame that we don't have Hex Jerzos in the physical, because if you did, and you were headed out to Denver, then you could wear those things at the Frostbite, which is the LUKSO Cross Boys Club event, Friday, March 1st. It's going from 9 p.m. to late. If you want to show up because you're going to be in Denver, RSVP is required. We were trying to get Rob to go there. Rob he wasn't having it. Those olives really turned him off. He's not into olives.
He likes black olives, not green olives.
I like the green olives with the blue cheese stuffed in them.
Yeah, those aren't bad.
Those aren't bad. You're absolutely right. You know who else likes olives, loves olives? Sage.lux loves olives.
Oh yeah,
big olive fan.
Oh, cool. Good to know. I'll get you that for your birthday next year.
Yep, Sage, expect many jars of olives.
He's gonna get a giant tub of olives. Here you go, buddy.
Yeah,
LFG, he's ready for him. All right.
All right. On the fashion, art, music, entertainment side, Universal page, those relentless builders actually shipped really cool. They call it experimental, but it's a really neat way to experience the collections on Universal page. My looking at it all, it looked like it kind of shows the floor price for every trait.
Yeah,
in something like the whales there, which is cool.
Yeah, that's what I gathered as well. It kind of just shows you the floor for each trait to give you a quick overview of kind of what the floors are and the different traits are and the vibes and stuff. So, because you can just kind of scroll through and see all the different, collections that way. But it's a really great way to get a quick sense of, kind of what's going on with the collections as a whole, as opposed to like having to go through manually and check them all out. So yeah, this is a wonderful feature. I like it a lot.
Yeah, my first gripe was, that we couldn't find collections easily when the universal page first opened. Like it was a little wonky. Now I feel like that's a significant upgrade. Like we just went like right through the
Yeah.
ceiling with that one.
Yeah, I love that one. And same thing with the traits being that it was really, and we all understand, right? It's a brand new platform. Things are getting updated and rolled out. So yeah, we totally understand. But yeah, that one of the frustrations was having to go manually find traits that you wanted to find. That was very, very challenging and difficult. But now you can go there and search by trait and find floors by trait or whatever. And it's super easy. So yeah, just love to see the continued updates over there.
Yep. And I'm going to say right here, that is a comment that one at my ass sideways was the universal page is an F tier project. You know what? You, the person who said that, are a piece of shit. Because you're really not. They're relentless builders that have been with this ecosystem for a long time that are trying their damnedest to get stuff out there. So just not going to take that criticism lying down. Okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna
no,
put that
for
in
sure,
there.
for sure. They live an F tier life, so just ignore 'em.
Done.
Well, should we get into some visual learning?
Yes.
I love this one.
When you joined crypto to make money, but you ended up being a community member. Rob actually said that is him.
I think we can all relate to that one for sure.
Oh my God. But it's
classic
rewarding,
brainer.
isn't it?
If only he was smoking a joint instead of a cigarette.
Yeah. It'd be much more relaxed.
But we got another one who's from Crex.LYX, who's quickly turning into a meme master. How holding LUKSO since 2020 feels. Still convinced we're going in the top 10. This is fine. Surrounded by flames, just chilling. I love this one.
That's one of my favorite memes ever when it started with the dog. The fact that he put the whale's head on that is
So
elite.
cute.
Seriously, Crex is knocking the memes out of the park lately.
Yeah, keep those coming, fam. We love them.
Jeez. All right. Well, we had a meme that I put together because I saw I saw this picture and was like, all right, I gotta just change the top because this is actually a conversation that I had with my wife when she was like, well, what are you thinking about? So that was a real picture of what was going on in ETHDenver's house.
But I love how normally it's the one when they're like happy doing something on their phone, but now he's looking really sad. So now he needs consoling.
I'm way too intense about this ecosystem.
Oh, well, we got another one here. When everything goes wrong, but you're already used to it. This is the way I feel. Just like, whatever. I know it's not going to drown me. I can just get wet. All good. I'll just chill.
That's classic. How do you even get that photo? I mean, honestly, there's 4 feet of water everywhere. This guy's sitting with a poncho on a park bench.
And there definitely some planning went into that. They're probably filming it from the boat.
Yeah, filming it from the boat. Exactly. Oh, geez. All right. Well, I would say that's pretty much our formal visual learning. I got one more in closing here in a second, but if you've enjoyed this video, you enjoyed the show, you enjoyed the shenanigans that we put you through, including a little bit of bitching, then don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to, see more of this content like this and other content like our very valuable lightning talks hosted by Sage.LYX or Medium Rare from Beef Banks or any of the legacy LUKSO fan podcasts, then please subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you don't miss an update on anything else that we put out there. And thanks for your support.
Yes, well said, Eth. Yeah, let's check out this last one. Actually, let's jump into this really quick. That we got my 2 personalities. Want to be alone and not be bothered, but I want love and attention. So how can I achieve both?
Sorry, I snorted.
Classic Eth snort. I love that.
Yeah. So that meme right there, pretty much, I'm gonna say sums up my life on any given day. So.
Did you ever do those? You ever make the hurricanes when you were a kid and you just go down the line, like get to like all 9, and then you're like, Oh, this is terrible. I should have left out the big red.
Is that actually called a hurricane?
That's what I don't know. That's what we called it when I was a kid.
So the answer is yes, I absolutely did that. You want a little bit of everything. I still do that when I go to the movie theaters if they let me make my own drink.
Oh man. Yeah. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. That's part of the fun, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes it really doesn't. Root beer doesn't go great with everything.
Well, it does go good with everything. Lightning Talks. We had episode 5 was going to be on Monday, the 12th at 11 a.m. Eastern. So Jake Prince is going to be there giving some information on UPage. And we got a few more speakers lined up as well. So yeah, it's been a really good vibe. And shout out to those who showed up live the last couple of talks. And yeah, I'm looking forward to another one.
I'm really looking forward to this. I think Jake is a class individual, has been around for a long time, good friend of KEEZ and any iteration of the pink pill that we've had. Wake up, wrap up, sick of it. Jake has always been around to talk. Jake's got a really interesting background. I'll be really interested to see what he wants to share with us during a lightning talk. And if you haven't caught a lightning talk yet, one thing Sage is adamant about is non-censorship. He's going to let anyone come up there on the stage who's got a message to share. It doesn't have to be a formal presentation. I love the fact that we've had some builders show up and repeatedly come back to the stage like Heisenberg, just kind of sharing thought process, where he's at, just flavor of the week. I'd love to see more of that.
Yeah, I love them, and it's such a great idea. It's a good thing of note, Eth. It doesn't have to be a formal presentation. You can just get on there and vibe out. We got 5 minute max, so you can do whatever you want in that time. And he does say at the bottom of that tweet, by the way, we are keeping track of all presenters.
I am interested. One of these days, maybe Jack will come on from Cupco and and give us some spoken word poetry.
Yes, please. Book it.
Book it.
All right. Well, before we head out, Eth, I did have a quick question for you. Talking to the sentiment, why should you try drinking a pint of water before bed if you're feeling depressed?
I was feeling so good 2 weeks ago when I got it. Why would I drink a pint of water before bed if I'm feeling depressed? I have no idea. Why? Tell me.
It'll give you a reason to get up in the morning. Thank you for that. I feel like we need even a worse version of that.
Boo, boo. Oh, all right. I appreciate it. In fact, that's one of my favorite things, is getting to the joke section at the end of every show. And I guess this is where, if you stuck with us for this long, we're going to share, we're actually taking a 2-week break. I just deadpanned that one on you. We are. We're going to take
pause.
Yeah, we're going to take a 2-week break where there'll be no wrap up for a couple weeks. We'll be back at you at the beginning of March. Alt, you want to share any more about that?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. Hopefully some exciting stuff happens. We can wrap up and put it into the next show. But yeah, it'll be a nice little break, and looking forward to getting back to it when time comes.
Yeah, I think we all need to go out and touch some grass. I'm feeling that myself. I need a little bit of a vacation. Oh, Sage puts, lightning talks are still on because he's a grinder. I am going to be putting my phone away. Yes, definitely my phone away. I will not be on socials, and I will be dipping my toes in the sand, going to Hawaii for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, super jelly about the Hawaiian expedition, but yeah, happy for you, fam. Hopefully you get a nice little break in there.
Yep, absolutely.
Well deserved, right? Exactly, Dave. But yeah, hope everyone's Friday's going great. Hope you have a wonderful start to your weekend, and hopefully it continues. We will miss you guys, but looking forward to getting back with you in a couple of weeks. And, if you are a positive contributor, if you work with the team, if you show up all the time and stay positive and do your part to grow this ecosystem, I fuck with you. Okay. I love you guys and gals.
He swore.
So I did do it. So don't hold that against me. Blame Eth if it was too much. But yeah, we rock with you, fam. And, do what you do best. Stay pink.